Good day, Engineer Villanueva. We are the Group 7 presenting our research entitled The Effectiveness of Teaching Strategies Employed in Online Learning to Third-Year Industrial Engineering Students at University of Cebu Main Campus. To start with, we have our rationale. Online learning has become a popular method of education. Many educators in higher education are using technologies in their teaching. Their use of technology is generally restricted to meeting purposes of convenience and efficiency. That was according to Barbour and Unger in 2014. Second, we have the teaching strategies is always an interaction arena between two different perspectives, the teachers and the student. Effective teaching strategies commonly drives themselves on having positive student interactions in and out of the classroom, especially nowadays. Education is in line with online learning. That was according to Al Shonak and Bani Domi on 2010. So therefore, the study focuses on the effectiveness of teaching strategies during online learning on how the teachers deal with their student, specifically the third-year industrial engineering students of University of Cebu Main Campus. The study considers every aspect of teachers on how they become effective towards their students in teaching. So that was our research gap. So next, we have our theoretical background. So we have three theories that are relevant to our research topic. So first, we have this study is anchored in three theories, namely active learning theory by Debadreta Singupta, communities of practice and situated learning theory by Winger and Lavey, and lastly, connectivism learning theory by George Siemens and Stephen Donis. So first, we have the active learning theory. Active learning theory is modern learning theory and it is the most widely used in e-learning programs these days. Second, we have the Winger and Lavey on 1991 and Winger on 1998 promoted the concepts such as communities of practice and situated learning. Their position was that learning involves a depending process situated in and derived from participation in a learning community of practice. Lastly, we have the George Siemens and Stephen Donis and develop a theory for the digital age called connectivism learning theory, denouncing boundaries of behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism. So for that, we have our general problem. This study aims to determine the effectiveness of teaching strategies through online learning by assessing the third-year industrial engineering students at University of Cebu Main Campus. So we have our specific problem. The researchers sought to answer the following questions. First, what are the teaching strategies of a teacher in industrial engineering department in University of Cebu Main Campus? Second, how online learning affect the third-year industrial engineering students in terms of academic performance? And lastly, what is the most ideal and effective teaching strategies of a teacher in industrial engineering department in University of Cebu Main Campus? Next is our significance of the study. First, we have the college instructors. Through this study, they can assess themselves if they are using an effective strategy towards imparting knowledge to their students. Second, to educators in general, this study provides ideas on how to make their teaching profession an enjoyable and effective despite in online learning.
In this methodology, this describes and discusses how we, the researchers, will gather the necessary data and information that will be used in the entire study. The methodology contains first the residents, The respondents of this study are the third-year industrial engineering students of University of Cebu main campus. The participants are assured that their responses will be held with strict confidentiality and no part of the study will be used against them for whatever reason. Then the second one is the instrument. The study of the effectiveness of learning strategies employed in online class to the third-year industrial engineering students of University of Cebu main campus is carried out by distribution of survey questionnaire through Google Forms or documents. The researchers use survey questionnaires to determine the most effective strategies that a teacher must acquire during online classes. Data gathering procedure. The researcher conducted the survey by sending out survey questionnaire via Google Forms where questions congruent to the desired responses. There are 3 parts of the questionnaire. Each item in each category ranges from a scale 5 to 1, where 5 is rated as strongly agree to 1 rated as strongly disagree. Rating scale from 1 to 10, and the students' feedback. The questionnaires were collected and data obtained will be tabulated in tables and interpreted using the simple percentage, while the open-ended questions, answers that were given by the respondents with the most frequency were noted. Then the treatment of data. The researchers uses maximum difference analysis to determine the best-worst strategies for teaching in an online learning to the third-year industrial engineering students of University of Cebu main campus.
So we have here the table 1, which shows the teaching strategies. So we can see that the most effective teaching strategy is the synchronous and asynchronous learning, having a 28.6% of the students voted this kind of strategy, while the teaching strategy that is not effective is the instructors let the students to learn at their own pace, having a level of 5.7%. So we can conclude that the students of BSIE in University of Cebu main campus preferred in synchronous and asynchronous learning. In the second table, which shows the percentage of the students' academic performance. So during the traditional learning, there are many students who have a 1.6 to 2.0 grade at the level of 65.7% of them. While in the online learning, there are students who reach 1.0 to 1.5 GWA at the level of 20%, and the rest is 74.3% in 1.6 to 2.0 GWE. So there are 31.4 students belong to the top students during the traditional learning, while the 68.6% of them who are not belong to the top students. While in the online learning, it increases and it achieved to 82.9% belongs them in top students, while the rest of 17.1% who are not belong in the top students. So the third table, which shows the students' feedbacks. So the students want to change the teaching method of the teachers, some of the teachers in University of Cebu main campus. And there are teachers who encourage them to perform better, and also they are satisfied with the overall academic experience in University of Cebu in engineering department. So next would be the interpretation of data. In interpreting this data, there are 35 respondents that participated in answering the researcher survey questionnaire having three different parts. This includes teaching strategies, student academic performance, and students' feedback. The researchers calculated the answers of the respondents in percentage. Most of the third-year industrial engineering students chooses synchronous and asynchronous online learning teaching strategies, as this will give them an impact to their grade, can give them satisfaction and highest chance to succeed. In the data analysis, first is the teaching strategies. Synchronous and asynchronous learning. Based on the data collected, the researchers found out that this is the most effective teaching method. There is no student who voted not or less effective. Majority of them says it is more effective since they prefer discussion at one time, and in the next meeting will be their time to take quizzes, activities, and even rest period. In the students' academic performance, the GWA during traditional learning, there are 65.7% of the students who have a grade of 1.6 to 2.0, have, while in the 2.1 to 2.5 and 8.6% who have 2.6 to 3.0. It means that they perform well during face-to-face classes. And the GWA during the online learning, the grades of the BSIE students become higher during online class. There are 20% of the students who reach 1.0 to 1.5 grade, and 74.3% have a 1.6 to 2.0, and the 5.7% having a 2.1 to 2.5. And lastly is the students' feedback. Most of the students wants to change the teaching methods of their instructors based on the survey having a level of 62.9%. 54.3% says that they are satisfied with the learning experience in University of Cebu main campus in engineering department, and 57.1% of them says that their teachers encourage them to perform better all the time, and 42.9% of them says only sometimes. It shows that most of the instructors of the UC main instructors encourage them or encourage their students to do their best or encourage them to do better.
So for the summary of our research, online learning requires an enormous number of students since it offers adaptability and support, simple access, and comfort. However, for most studies, students recognize issues connected with the relational parts of online communication. Frequently, the students felt alone, eclipsed by different individuals, or hesitant to freely share their thoughts. And one more enormous issue was unfortunate commitment and intuitiveness, alongside different issues made by an absence of quickness and nonverbal signs. So few students saw the medium as a faceless, so there might be a false impression and tune could turn to a negative one. So to move on with our findings, the primary objective of this research was to identify the effectiveness of learning strategies employed in online class to the third year industrial engineering students of University of Cebu main campus. So based on the survey, effective teaching strategies are the synchronous and synchronous strategies. Students prefer online learning than the traditional learning, and teachers encourage students to perform the class. And they are satisfied during evaluating the teachers, and teachers as well, helping students in improving the result and providing on how to get a better grades.
So for the recommendations, based on the findings, researchers recommend that despite of the effective results of our study students needs to understand that they also need to make their own strategies for online learning for them to become an effective learners. Parents should monitor their children if they are doing well during the online learning. Teachers must seek continuous improvement of the current strategies they employed in helping students during online learning. So, administrator may conduct seminar to help teachers and students becoming effective educators and learners of online learning. Then, a similar study is also suggested to further verify the result of these studies. So, also, future researchers may conduct a larger sampling size of respondents to broaden the range of possible evidence and produce a better result. Then, and for the conclusion, findings revealed that that teaching strategies employed on the students for the online learning is effective. This means that even if the student had transitioned from traditional learning to online learning, the level of learning they acquired is still the same. Despite of all the struggles encountered during the online learning, teachers made a successful strategy to help the students in acquiring the same learnings from the traditional learnings. That's all. Thank you.